Is he? He's here! He's here! He's here!
We are finally back. After $2,000 spent on a new PC, we are finally back, and I am ready to start making some amazing content for you guys. I completely forgot how to do all of this, so this is going to be a very big experiment. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's going to be a good one. Let's get into it. Raw is on Netflix now, and I think the last two episodes have been absolutely spectacular. I loved the presentation of both of these shows, from the camera angles to just the live performances of all the wrestlers, and just the presentation of the show in general, you know? From just drone shots and dolly shots to just how the wrestlers are carrying themselves, how they are interacting with one another. It has just been a little bit different, but it's a good different, and I am so excited to see what else they have in store for us, because so far, I mean, I have been absolutely blown away with what they have tried, because I mean, some people would be scared to try these type of things, but WWE is a multi-billionaire company that make these risks, try new things, and just want to see what will encapsulate new viewers. And I think this 100% will. It's kind of done it for me. I mean, I haven't seen these type of things for them, so I am just so excited to see what they also have in store for us. Last week's edition, the January 6th edition of Raw, was the first one on Netflix, and this one I thought was so good. This wasn't really a typical Raw, this was more like a PLE, but I thought it did an amazing job at showing viewers what WWE is all about. It had its top names performing, and it just really did a great job at just explaining what WWE really is about, especially at the beginning when they played that video of describing what the WWE is about and showing what the history of it is. It did a great job at just that this, like, the business, this company, this entertainment business, whatever the hell you want to call it, has been around for 50 plus years, and it has been drawing attention for the longest time. But right now is the chance for WWE to go absolutely global, and they are reaching a worldwide platform of 80% of the world, which is absolutely phenomenal. And they brought in a ton of new viewership on their first edition of Raw on Netflix. They had around 5 million viewers compared to their normal million to 2 million on a regular weekly episode of Raw. That is so good for Raw, for WWE in general, because they're not used to that type of viewership. People were scared that they were going to be crashing and all this stuff. Guys, to put it in perspective, the Paul Tyson fight had around 100 million viewers streaming it. Raw on Netflix only had 5. So to put that in perspective, that's a big difference. So truthfully, I wasn't as scared for it, but it was in the back of my mind, and I definitely did not want to have to deal with those like crashing issues and stuff, but thankfully we did not, and thankfully the show ran so smoothly. We had no issues whatsoever with the streaming process and everything like that. And then once that video at the beginning finished and the curtain fell, we saw Triple H standing in the middle of the ring as a silhouette, and wow, that was just cinema right there. Absolute cinema. That was so cool. And then he caught a mini promo about what WWE has been, and he asked the 3 little words,
Are you ready?
And 100% was. That video, even though I knew everything about WWE for the most part, it just made me even more excited. The video, what it was basically meant to do was supposed to show the new viewers what WWE is about and what it is, the history of it, without insulting the viewers of today. And I think it did so good at that, because I didn't feel insulted at all. I thought it was really cool, and it was just a great opening sequence to the show. Now, after the Triple H segment concluded, we had a Rock promo, and this is where a lot of fans got really upset with the way that he was just shown. He was more or less a face out there, but at the same time, I didn't interpret it that way. I interpret it as someone who was trying to promote the entire business as a whole. I didn't see him as a heel. I just saw him as The Rock, a big name of the TKO groupings, who is basically just trying to show the world what his business is about. And that's really what I got from that, and that's really what you all should get from that, because that's more or less what that was. I didn't really see a face or a heel in that segment, and that's exactly what he said the next night on NXT. He said to basically take what he did with Cody Rhodes as a grain of salt. And then he put the Ula Fala on Roman. No heel turn there. But people were upset about that. People wanted Rock to really do something. And Rock said it himself. He is 20 steps ahead. And that is something that people are failing to understand, is that The Rock is one of the smartest wrestlers out there right now. And I don't want to say wrestler because he doesn't wrestle all that often. I mean, barely wrestles at all, but I mean, that's really what he is, though. He is a mastermind. It's even saying a lot that night that he was the high chief, and not the tribal chief. But I don't know, man. I could easily see a battle for the tribal chief or the high chief, and The Rock will definitely be involved with that with Roman. I don't understand why people were very upset about this, because again, you are misinterpreting what that whole segment was really about. I don't think that was about Rock being out there. That was more or less about Dwayne Johnson being out there. That's really what that was. I mean, he was just promoting WWE, and he was one of the first segments because people know who he is, and this was about showing the people who have never watched WWE what it's about. So they wanted a face that everyone probably would know, and that was The Rock. So take that as you will, but in general, I really don't think we have that much to fear in terms of Rock having a match at WrestleMania. After the Rock segment, we had a first match between Roman and Solo, the Tribal Combat match. I thought this match was absolutely amazing. I would have said this was the best match on the card, but it was not. There was a match that was even better than this one. And in my opinion, I think this was the best Solo has ever looked in a ring. Solo is not the greatest of wrestlers, and honestly, he's not the greatest of mic workers either. But he is getting better at both of those, and he was looking really good against Roman because Roman knows how to sell for him. That's what it really came down to. Roman made Solo look like $1 million. And then having the rest of the OG bloodline and the new bloodline get involved in this match, that was really good as well. But they also didn't overdo it, which they always have a tendency of doing. Having the new bloodline, for instance, come out to help Solo almost immediately. Easily have done that, but they didn't. They took their time with that. They allowed Roman and Solo to go at it for a little while, and then the new bloodline came out to help. And I thought that was done well. And then even Kevin Owens came out, and then Cody had to come out and help him, and that's going to advance the storyline between them two even more. But people were also saying that Sami Zayn was out there a little bit before Kevin Owens, so there's going to be something between them two pretty soon as well. They are subtly moving along storylines without people even really realizing it. And I think it has been done so well. I mean, this match, I actually was surprised about how good it was, because I wasn't expecting much in terms of Solo, but they used that to their advantage and basically surprised everybody. And I thought this match was hands down I wanted to say best match on the card. In my opinion, right when it happened, up until the last match on the card, it was the best match. And now, after that last match, my opinion changed. This was the second best match on the card, but honestly, it could easily have taken first place if it wasn't for the last match. And we will get into that in a little bit. After that match, we had a little bit of a break in action, and then we got a John Cena promo. And I absolutely loved Cena because Cena was kind of my childhood growing up. I wasn't a huge fan of watching Cena when I was younger. I never really liked him as much, but wow, coming back out, I realized how lucky I was to have him wrestling around the time that I was young. I really was lucky for that, to be watching the product around that time, even though I stopped kind of watching a little bit afterwards. Around 2010 through probably 2013, it was around the time that I really was watching WWE a lot. And Cena was at the forefront of all of it. And so, him coming back out on the January 6th episode of Raw reminded me about how lucky I was when he was there. And he was just a presence that we have missed. Cena is the mega uber over babyface, and we absolutely missed him. Cena was basically there to kind of make fans a little bit upset with the fact that he didn't think that he would be able to break Ric Flair's record, and it's also his record as well because they're both tied for the 16th World Championship. And so Cena's saying that I don't think the 17th championship's going to happen, but then the idea of winning the Elimination Chamber or winning the Royal Rumble came to mind, and he basically was playing with the fans a little bit, and he declared for the Rumble, and I thought it was an excellent way of just getting fans excited for this year-round tour retirement. And I'm excited for it because I think Cena can still put on amazing matches, and he obviously is still, to this day, one of the best mic workers of all time. I'm just really excited to see who he feuds with this year, because he even hinted CM Punk. CM Punk even hinted it this past Raw. That was one of John Cena's best rivalries of all time. I mean, it's either Punk or Edge, I want to say, are John Cena's best rivals. And CM Punk's still in WWE. I would say that's right there for the taking. They should do it. And then we got a Logan Paul hype video package, which I was actually expecting him to be in the ring cutting a promo, but they probably figured he was going to get booed out of the ring, out of the stadium, so they wanted to just do a video package, basically hyping up what his return to live action is going to look like, how he's going to be full-time now, and everything like that. I'm excited for Logan Paul because, love him or hate him, he is really, really good at his craft. He is a great mic worker now. He's really good in the ring. I don't understand why people hate him so much. He's controversial, I get that, but at the same time, man, he's human. Just, I don't get it. People are not able to separate the character from the person, and I get it because his name is Logan Paul in real life, and his name is Logan Paul in WWE, so I get it. But at the same time, you gotta understand separating the character from the person in real life, and people are not able to really grasp that idea. I understand he has said and done some very controversial things in his past, but he is turning a new page. He is with WWE now. You gotta just accept that, and he is one of their biggest and brightest stars. And now on to the Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan World Championship match that I actually think was probably one of their best matches they have had together. Probably being their worst one. I think SummerSlam probably was their best one, and then this one was probably their second best one. I think, truthfully, they did a really, really good job at just conveying how they hate each other. And that's really all that was about, was them hating each other. Rhea getting the championship back was definitely a questionable decision. I've seen a lot of people be really unhappy about that, and I get it. People don't really want to see her as champion again because they just got a very, very boring year-and-a-half long reign for her. Actually, it was probably just a year reign for her, and I understand that. She didn't really get the greatest of opponents until the end of her reign, and that's not really what people want to see. People want to see a long reign, but have great opponents, and each opponent basically be able to dethrone her. So people like Maxine Dupree or Ivy Nile should not be really facing Rhea Ripley in her world title reign. That is really dumb in my opinion because we already know. So it's like, why even bother having her face them? Nia Jax, that was a fantastic opponent for her to go against. Becky Lynch was a fantastic one. Charlotte Flair obviously is where Rhea got the title from in the first place. But those three are the only really good names that she has gone against. Everyone else, She might have had good matches against them, but they're not big enough names for you to really think they actually stand a chance at beating Rhea. So I get why people are upset about that. Liv has been coming into her own this year. She has probably been the wrestler of the year in my opinion. She has taken off with the storyline, and in large part I think a lot of this has to be due because Rhea got injured and Liv took advantage of it. Liv went with it and she took off. I think this storyline had the potential to be the biggest storyline in WWE. After SummerSlam, it was the biggest disappointment of the SummerSlam storylines, I want to say. I mean, Finn and Priest are right there as well. The whole Judgment Day storyline has just been a massive disappointment since, and oh my god, don't even get me started with the street fight that just happened. That annoyed me a lot, but it is what it is. This is about Rhea and Liv, and I honestly think that this match, it was about basically starting fresh, and that's all it was. They wanted to start fresh, so they gave the title to Rhea. And I think Liv will be just fine. Actually, they want to see if Liv will stay relevant without the title. And people need to realize that I think she will. And this wasn't about like doing Liv dirty or anything like that. This was actually big for Liv. If you really think about it, this was big for her. Because if she has really made this name for herself, she shouldn't need the title to actually be relevant. And I don't think she will. I think she should be able to be match at WrestleMania, and it won't even be for the title. But I will get into that in a future video. I'll be making a WrestleMania's prediction video of all the matches I think will actually be on the card, so please tune into that when it comes out. But for this one, I really do think Liv will be fine. She will actually be better than fine. I think she will be great, and people need to just relax. I mean, seriously. And then at the end of the match, when Dom tried to come in and stuff like that, I honestly don't understand the whole point of that. That was really stupid. If you're not going to utilize that with the storyline, then there was no point in doing that. I mean, seriously. Dom basically getting kicked in the nuts and then getting riptided by Rhea, and there was just no point for that. I mean, they used it a little bit in this Raw where Dom was trying to apologize to Liv, basically saying it's not what it looked like and stuff like that. But they need to run with that. And they need to make it more like prevalent, that big deal that Dom was trying to get back with Rhea. But oh my god, I hate the idea of what they're doing with Dom right now. Having him be like a title chaser with the women. It's like, dude, come on. Do something for yourself for once. Yeah, I don't know. But either way, I think this is the right decision to have Rhea win. It allows Rhea to kind of show why she is the biggest star in the women's division right now. It allows her to get her mojo back. Unfortunately, Rhea falls into that category where she needs the title to stay relevant, and she was struggling without that title. I gotta be honest, she was struggling. So I want to see what this title reign looks like. It already seems that they are moving on with her, but from her with Liv. So we'll see what comes with that. Jey Uso and Drew McIntyre was a great match as well. All of the matches on this card were great. This was probably the match that people weren't expecting a ton from. Two of their biggest names involved in a match, and I think actually the right winner won. I think people were just expecting Drew to win this match, and then they had Jey roll up Drew. That was great. That was something that you just were not expecting. I think the way they did it too was awesome. It showed Drew being overeager to get the Claymore kick, and then Jey basically kind of faked him out with being hurt and stuff, and then Jey was able to roll him up and win the match. I think that was done so well, kind of showing how Drew can get too into his head and mess things up a little bit, and that's exactly what he did. So kudos to this match. I mean, I wasn't expecting much from this match, and wow, Jay's entrance, I don't even understand what the hell Travis Scott was doing there. I don't get that. I mean, he was literally smoking a blunt in the middle of the entrance. Thank God Jay did not take it, as Triple H said. That would have been pretty bad on Jay. That would have been very bad. Very bad. That would have been a negative reception from that. But thank God he didn't take it. Truthfully, I don't understand what they're doing with Travis Scott. I even saw a report saying that they're looking to involve him in even more business moving forward with WWE. Why would you do that if he really just did what he did at Netflix? Like, come on the debut episode of Netflix. Why would you do that? Why would you have him come back? I just don't understand that. But overall, I think this match was a really good match, kind of just taking a break from the main action. This was just a really good, like, in-between match that I think just accomplished what it was there to do and kind of move forward with the Drew just being a way too, like, overeager with certain things, and I think it did it well. Oh, man. Oh, the Hulk Hogan segment. Oh, man, that reception, I honestly don't know if that was well-deserved or if that wasn't. I mean, he is a very controversial guy, but Hulk Hogan, if it weren't for Hulk Hogan, WWE wouldn't be what it is today. And so for that reason alone, I feel terrible for how the crowd reacted to him. But at the same time, he has said and has believed in certain things that are very controversial and very bad, that he kind of had it coming. I'm not gonna lie, he definitely had it coming. So he went out there to advertise his beer. I mean, come on, there was no reason for that outside of just allowing him to advertise his shit. It's like, come on, that could have been used for better things. I don't really understand the whole point of that. Whatever. I mean, what are you gonna do? It's not that big of a deal. I mean, seriously, what are you gonna do? Seriously, it's like he's advertising his beer. There's really not much you can do. I mean, was this segment needed? No, not really. And honestly, this was probably the worst idea they had. This was probably the worst thing on the freaking Raw Netflix debut. I don't know why this was here, honestly. I really don't. Now on to the absolute best match on the card, and that being Punk versus Rollins. This match, oh my god, like, I wasn't expecting this match to be as good as it was, but oh my god, was this match good. Actually, who am I kidding? I was expecting this match to be phenomenal, and it delivered. It was so good, and these two are just the best workers in WWE. They can talk like no other, and they can wrestle like no other. I mean, Roman Reigns might be the most over in the popular, or Cody Rhodes, but these two are the best of the company. I mean, Punk and Rollins are the most important. They are the most, like, they're the best of the company. They can both sell, put on a great wrestling match, and speak to one another phenomenally, and no one else can do that. I mean, even Roman Reigns can't do that. Cody Rhodes can't do that. John Cena semi can do that, but he's not a full-time wrestler. And so these two are, and they just showed why they are the best of the company. People don't really put that into account, but they are the best workers in WWE. I mean, seriously. When it comes down to it, they have the whole package. The entire package. And no one else has it like them two. Them two can just put on a phenomenal show, and that's exactly what they did in the main event. And I am so glad that they put this match as the main event, because them two are actually on Monday Night Raw, as Roman and Solo are not. That was just a courtesy match that they added to the show. Roman and Solo, I think, more often now, but Punk and Rollins are on Raw all the time, and I think this was a phenomenal main event. And if you haven't watched it yet, you really do need to go back and watch it, because this really just showed what wrestling can be. You know, it was just a great match, and having Punk win, I think, honestly, was probably the right outcome, actually, because it just showed that Rollins' hatred for him, he underestimated him, as he said in the promo this last week. He underestimated him, and he was not expecting any of that. So it was just great. It really was a good match. Seriously, if you haven't watched it, you gotta watch it. It's already Match of the Year contender. Seriously. Now that we finished the debut episode of Raw on Netflix, we are moving on to the next week's Raw of Netflix, which happened this past Monday. And it started with a CM Punk promo in the ring for the Royal Rumble, and then getting interrupted by Seth Rollins. And The way they interrupted him was phenomenal. Punk was like, hit my music, and then Rollins' music hit. That was great. But them two, again, just put magic on the microphone. Them two can go at it one-on-one so well. Moving on to the Chad Gable and Penta debut. I thought Penta was looking absolutely phenomenal. I mean, they did his debut so well, from his entrance to the way he moved and interacted with Gable in the ring to his selling. I even thought it was great. He had a moment of overselling a move, which was pretty funny. I mean, I think that's really what he's supposed to be, though, a funny luchador that people can get behind. And he already had the whole entire crowd behind him. They were chanting whatever they chant for him. I don't know Penta personally, so I had no idea what they were chanting. But wow, that him. His family was in the front row. His little daughter was basically crying when he made his entrance. That was so cool to see. I mean, this was awesome. I mean, it seems like I've heard that Penta has been looking for really good competition and looking to be involved in a bigger company and stuff like that. And WWE is the perfect company for him. Chad Gable put him over phenomenally, and people need to start putting respect on Chad Gable's name. Oh my god, Chad Gable made him look so damn good. I'm serious when I say this. Chad Gable should have been the one to dethrone Gunther last year at Mania. It should not have been Sami Zayn. It should have been Chad Gable. And Chad Gable just proved why. I mean, he just made magic with this guy. I'm a little skeptical with what I saw with Penta's moveset, though, because if he's not facing somebody like a Gable, I wonder how they're going to take his moves. And his finisher, for instance, that's a little dangerous of a for someone who I don't think can lift the bigger people up like that. I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, someone like a Braun Strowman, if he faces Strowman, for instance, I don't think Penta could obviously do that move. I mean, what move could you do against Strowman? That's the problem. I mean, not many people have a move against Strowman, so I get that. But at the same time, he needs to probably work on a finisher that he can do against bigger opponents, and he might even have it. I have no idea. I don't know Penta, so, but from watching him live, oh my god, I thought his presentation was phenomenal, and he had a promo at the end, and I'm so glad they allowed him to speak Spanish or whatever in his promo. I thought that was phenomenal because it kind of just showed what he is, who he is, what it's about, and stuff like that. I love that they're doing that more now, because I saw that with Shinsuke Nakamura, he even cut a promo in Japanese, and that was awesome, you know? Things like that. Triple H has been allowing his talent to just in their native language, and that's just, it was so good, cool to see, and it just really showed that Penta is going to be a big name moving forward. I'm very excited for what we saw from him, and I'm very excited to see what come for him. And I even said I think Penta's next opponent should actually be Dom. I think Dom would put him over just as well, but he needs to get into a actual mic battle with Dom. Another Latino worker. I think it would be great because Dom could probably fire back at him in Spanish as well. It would be really cool to see. Again, this would be very interesting because maybe Penta and Ray are working together against Dom. I think they would be able to make it happen, and I think that's probably the direction they should look to go with Penta. Then we had a really cool match between Dakota Kai and Lyra Valkyria, who actually ended up winning the Intercontinental Championship in this match. I think that was actually the right. Lyra is a little bit more over than Dakota Kai is. I think Dakota Kai definitely deserves her shot. I mean, she has been there with WWE for like 7 years now. She deserves her chance, and I think Kai probably will end up being Lyra Valkyria's first Intercontinental Championship opponent, just like Michin was for Chelsea Green. I really do feel like Kai deserves a chance right away, and obviously that means she's probably not going to win it, but you never know. I think Kai probably is the second deserving out of all of them, so I think the match between these two was well deserved. They did a really good job in the ring. They had probably the biggest spot of the year, and then of course the street fight happened, and that quickly changed, so take that as you will. But honestly, this match was really cool. I mean, them two put on magic in the ring. I thought they would. They did a really cool job of just telling a story of two women who really want to get the Intercontinental Championship. inaugural champion, and it happened to be Lyra Valkyria, which I think was the correct decision to make. And then we got a Gunther promo where he basically was saying how he's the best in the world again and blah 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 blah, same stuff, different day. But then Jey Uso came out and interrupted him and basically made Gunther cut some of the best promo work he has done in a while. This was basically just a return to form for Gunther and making him a flat-out heel again, because I don't know what they were doing with him before, but it almost felt like they were turning him face, and let's just not do that. Jey Uso is the most over face, so they're trying to make Gunther really, really hated, and that's probably the perfect decision to make. I really don't understand why they were trying to make Gunther a face when he has his best work as a heel, and Gunther proved that, saying that Jey Uso is nothing better than just a tag team wrestler. That was absolutely great. I mean, so damn lethal with his words and his in-ring work that Gunther really is just one of the best. And people just are quick to assume that Jey Uso is going to beat him at Saturday night's main event. That's not really true, and I don't understand why people believe that. I don't think Gunther's going to get dethroned at all. I'm sorry, I don't. I think Gunther's going to lose the title at Mania, probably. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happened. But people need to be realistic with yourself and realize that Jey Uso is not as good as you really think he is. He's a great talker, mic worker, but that's about it. He's not that great in the ring if you really look at him. I mean, he's good, but he's not that good, okay? And Jey Uso obviously just cut one of his best promos that he's been on the main roster as well, and they just put on a really cool performance together. Them two, I think, will be really good workers together. I would love to see what they say to each other next. I would have to assume there's going to be a segment between them two again. But this week, it was great. I mean, it was all about them two just showing who's better, who's going to be winning, who's going to, try to win and stuff. Unfortunately, though, they kind of spoiled that Jey is going to lose because he already declared for the draft, yet he's facing Gunther, he declared for the Royal Rumble, even though he's going to be facing Gunther, so it's pretty obvious that Jey's not going to win. I don't think many of you really saw that before, but now that I put that out there, take that as you will, because, yeah, I don't think Jey is winning, and I really don't think Jey should win, because, I'm sorry, but I think the World Championships are better in the hands of a heel, and yes, Jey Uso is mega popular, mega over, but honest to God, I really don't want to see him as a world champion. I just don't. I was okay with him being the IC champion, but only for so I'm sorry, I don't really want to see Jey Uso as the world title holder right now. I think Gunther needs to hold it until Mania, and if you want to revisit this again at Mania, by all means go for it, but again, I think Jey Uso might go back to tag team wrestling with Jimmy come Mania, so I would love to see what they do with that. Then we had the Rhea promo where she actually didn't mention Liv or Dom at all, which actually completely surprised me. I was expecting her to basically say the same old, which she did for the most part. It's like, Mommy is back on top, blah, 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 blah. But, oh my God, it gets old when she says the same damn thing every single week. Don't get me wrong, I love Rhea, but holy shit, she says the same damn thing every single week, and it gets really, really old. I mean, she needs the titles to stay relevant, and if the last 6 months haven't proved that, I don't know what will, because she just, in my opinion, she wasn't getting pops on a regular basis. She was getting pops every so often, but Triple H would overdo it with her. He really would. Any chance that he could put in a Rhea pop, he would. And it just really took away the pops moving forward, because her music really is a pop music. Like, you will get a pop from that. And her music is great. But it's like, if you overuse it and overdo it, you're not going to be getting pops with her. And I think that's really what they've been doing, is overdoing it. So it's like, they need to just tone it down with her. And thank God they brought Nia on her, because I think Nia might have been her best match ever since she won the title from Charlotte Flair. I think Nia Jax was a better match than Becky, because Nia made Rhea look weak in her match, made Rhea look like she actually would lose her title, and she didn't. That was the first time that people actually thought Rhea was going to lose, was at Elimination Chamber last year, because Nia made her look. And Rhea did an amazing job at selling it. That is when Rhea is at her best. Selling for others is what she does so well. And she did that. And what did we get? Magic. I think that main event at Elimination Chamber was so damn good. People are quick to say that match wasn't good. I love that match. That was one of my favorite Rhea matches of all time. That was a really good match. And they're bringing Nia back simply because I think the Raw women's division needs her right now, because they need a mega heel. And holy shit, she was getting fucking booed. That was insane. Nia was getting booed out of the building, and that is what Rhea needs. Rhea is obviously the mega face right now, so we saw that. And whenever Nia talked down to Rhea, I mean, the fans would let Nia hear it. It was insane. And then Bayley got involved, and I think Bayley match sometime soon. And then also Bayley was eyeing Rhea's title like crazy. If you saw that, play that back. Watch Bayley's eyes. Bayley was literally watching Rhea's title that entire damn time. And so I think we're going to be getting a Bayley versus Rhea soon, which will help Rhea go against opponents she hasn't gone against before. You know, allow her to face different opponents in her title reign. She didn't even face Bayley last year in her title reign. So it'll be good to see her facing somebody different. And last year, meaning probably 2 years ago now, because wow, she hasn't been champion since Mania. So let's be real, it's a fresh sight to see them trying to do something a little bit different with Rhea, and thank God they are, because Triple H obviously has a soft spot where she is concerned, because it's like he gives her the special treatment. It feels like he never makes her look weak, and I like Rhea, I really do, but I just would like to like her in a way that wasn't so cheap, it feels like. And that's kind of what we've gotten. And she's been struggling without Judgment Day. I mean, her mic work has not been that good ever since she's left Judgment Day. And it's probably because she's losing confidence in herself or something like that. She just misses being with her family a little bit. And truthfully, they really were a family. And I don't know, but it's good to see her finally getting something a little bit different. I really hope this helps her gain some confidence back, for one, but two, allow fans to start to really like her again. And we'll have to just see where this goes from here. But I am glad they put Nia back on her. And last but not least, we finally got the conclusion of this feud, most likely, between Finn and Priest. I am already a little upset that they had Priest win it, but I think it was more or less because they wanted the feud to just finally end. Why they did, but oh my god, did Finn need a win. They have buried Finn so badly, and in my opinion, and many others' opinions, Finn is far more interesting than Priest is. I'm sorry, but Priest is the same old. He's all about beating somebody up, blah 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 blah. It's like it gets annoying. He's just like Rhea. He's just the male version of Rhea. That's really what he is, and it's so obvious. And I don't get why they just don't let Finn get one over on him. Finn took some amazing spots, from getting freaking Falcon arrowed off of that balcony onto the tables with all the equipment on it. Wow, that was the best spot of the year so far. And then from Finn stomping Priest through the table, that was an awesome move that we wanted to see him do to Edge at WrestleMania 39 and win the match, and then they had the Demon fucking lose. Why would you have the Demon lose that match? It's just, Finn needed a win, and they already are starting off on a bad foot with him in 2025. I mean, I heard a report saying that he was gonna probably get a good world title opportunity this year and get a pretty good push this year, and we're already off to a bad start with him losing his first match of the year, and it nonetheless being against Priest, the one guy he has the biggest feud with right now. He couldn't get one over on him, and oh my god, the War Raiders, why are they getting involved in this? They should not have gotten involved at all. I'm so sick of them. They really need to just stay in their own lane. I mean, seriously. Judgment Day getting involved was fine. And then Priest having to battle them off. I get that. That's fine. And then what should have happened is after the War Raiders took the JD and Carlito away, Dom comes out. Finn is getting the upper hand. Dom costs Finn. That's what should have happened. That ends Finn and starts in one between Dom and Finn. That's what should have happened. They didn't do that. I don't know why they didn't do that. That was really, really dumb. And then I also saw reports that Judgment Day was going to be starting a feud with the Wyatt Six. Wyatt Six just got moved to SmackDown. So what are they doing with the Judgment Day? Oh, I just don't understand it. I feel like Judgment Day is just stuck in purgatory right now. They have been ever since SummerSlam, and it's just not getting any better. Now that Liv's lost the title, we gotta really see what they do with them, because now that Liv doesn't have the title, it's almost like they're not relevant anymore. And they would have been relevant had Finn won this match, but they have lost a lot of relevancy. I don't even know what they're gonna do with any of them, because if this feud is over now, what do they do next week? What's gonna happen next week? You know? I know that Finn and JD said something about going for the tag titles again, but I don't want Finn in the tag division. I want him in the singles division going for the world title. Let Dom be in the tag division, you know? Like, come on. Raw on Netflix was a massive success these past 2 weeks, and honestly, I was really thrilled with what I saw. I was really happy with everything. Everything seemed to be going really, really well, and it still is. I'm very excited what they do. The storylines are progressing pretty well outside of Finn and Priest, and I'm excited to see what happens next week. So please tune into my next video. Until next time, see ya.